It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me.
Welcome to Remember 64, where this week we head back to 1997 with some friends. Hello everyone and welcome to the show as we end off our first year of Remember 64. I'm tying in some of my good friends from my Back in My Day podcast, and we're talking about 1997 video games, which, yes, of course, with the first full year of the Nintendo 64 is perfect. We have the fun awards ceremony, sort of speak, that we've done for the last couple of years. They are called the Backies. Yes, after Back in My Day, it's very original. You're welcome for that. Essentially, you'll hear it as we describe what it is, but we come up with some fun categories. I mean, you know, the Game Awards is fun and all with newer games, but let's be honest, you got to come up with some fun, goofy ones as well. So that's what we do. We go through a whole bunch of categories and fun games. Lots of N64 titles are featured here as well, so you will get some gaming talk with that. We also talk a lot about games that are based on movies and TV shows. But really, we're just honestly here to just have a good time and do something different. Myself, Mike, and Ian are all really big fans of the Nintendo 64 and have had lots of experience growing up. We've talked about it numerous times on the show on Back in My Day. So it was really just like Back in My Day, sort of like a precursor to why I even jumped into making something like Remember 64. On top of that, I have some fun clips from previous episodes from Remember 64. So you hear myself and Luigi talk about games like Carmageddon. If you've listened to that episode, it is one of the most fun and painful ones at the same time that we've done. So keep an eye out for that and an ear out in this episode as well. You'll also hear us talk more about other 64 games in the next episode that you'll see on your feed. We split this Backies of 1997 into 2 episodes because we had such a good time in so many categories that we didn't want to bore anybody, so we split it up into 2. So that's how that's going to work. So I hope everybody enjoys it, and hope everyone's had a good holiday so far. And without further ado, let's jump into the 1997 Backies.
Message from General Pepper. Priority 1.
We need your help, Star Fox.
Welcome, everybody, to Back in My Day. My name is David Petrangelo, and this week, the not-so-stereotypical millennials will be saying goodbye to 2022. Thank God for many reasons. And hello to 1997. We are going back 25 years for the Backies, the second annual Backies, and we will be handing out some awards. Once again, I am lucky enough to be joined by
Michael R. Power
and Ian Walter.
Gentlemen, cheers. It's the end of 2022, and we're saying hello to 97. Cheers. We all have our adult pops in our hands, and we're going to have a good time and hand out some fun, ridiculous, and cool awards. I mean, the whole point of the Backies is to have fun. The whole point of the Backies is to look back and award a bunch of video game awards, with one movie award also coming up. Surprise, surprise.
Dave, should we explain the Backies? How it's the only eligible games are 1997 games.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so everything here has to have been released in 1997. I think some of them here, like a couple of them might have been released in Japan in 97, but most of them are North American releases. Yeah, we'll accept that if we just want to include that game and talk about it.
Yeah, so forget the video game awards where they look at the releases this year. Like, that's too easy. Everyone's doing that.
Jeff Keighley is not trying hard enough, like, clearly.
We're going back 25 years and giving awards to the games that really matter. The retro games, the games that we loved growing up, the games that are forgotten. And that's what the Backies is all about.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, sir. Well said. On Remember 64, my other podcast, there's a few titles that I've played that we're going to be talking about. So I'm excited to share my recent experience of revisiting some of these games. So I'm going to start with the Nintendo 64 games as well, or at least one of the categories we have with 64 games. And it is the best N64 game with the number 64 in the title because, it's the 90s. So it was cool to put the number in there, kids. It's the way things were.
I love that trend. It was like
hilarious.
Whatever, 64.
Yeah. So we have a few classics here. We have Star Fox 64, Bomberman 64, Duke Nukem 64, the classic Mario Kart 64, Madden Football 64, and likely the most played game on the console, Mahjong 64. I found that when I was looking for it. I actually don't remember if it was released in North America or not, but I was like, sure, let's throw in something funny here. Mr. Ian Walter, what do you think, man? This is tough. This one's pretty tough, I think.
Yeah, all the 64 titles are great, right? You've got your Bomberman 64. I remember playing a lot of Bomberman, no matter what version it was. Whenever I saw Bomberman, I liked to play that. But that's like more arcade style, right?
Multiplayer, one that, I would say,
some good multiplayer. That's true, couch co-op. But for me, once you drop the great Mario Kart 64, that's got to be my choice, right? Because we're gifted this. It is Christmas time right now. We're gifted the chance to talk about it again, even though technically it dropped in Japan in '96, so we already got a chance to talk about it in the first Backies. Now we're going to talk about this great game again in the second annual Backies. So that's my choice, Mario Kart 64. I think it is the greatest racing game for that console, and it defined what Mario Kart is now. From like what it was in Super Nintendo. So Mario Kart, I mean, I've played it even more than I've played GoldenEye. GoldenEye is my favorite game of all time. So from that console.
So that's saying something right there.
So Mario Kart 64.
All right, Mike, I'm gonna go to you. I have a bit of a I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna think about it.
Well, I gotta go. It's a very good choice, Mario Kart 64, and I would not be upset if it got the Backy. But since I'm going second and Dave still has to go, I'm gonna throw my support behind Star Fox 64 because this is the first Star Fox game I played. It's the one game of the list that I owned and absolutely loved and got me into introduced Star Fox to North America, right?
Well, it came out on SNES, but it wasn't quite. It's not the same. It's not the same game. Like this is much bigger.
The cultural impact of this game is much bigger. So
absolutely,
a lot of people's first experience with the character Star Fox, who's still a beloved character to this day because of this game, and it's a great game, and it's a unique game, and it takes that sort of bullet hell game that used to be 2D and moves it 3D. Does what the N64 did with a lot of games, sort of reinvents it into the 3D polygon world. And so that's my vote, just because I think it's the best game. It's my favorite of the bunch.
All right.
I think Star Fox 64 had a good multiplayer as well.
Great multiplayer. I mean, co-op and sort of arena battle type stuff. Right? It had options, which is really cool. Now that you say that, Mike, I think it's actually pretty definitive for me that it would also be Star Fox. Honestly, the more I think about this game, the more I realize how good it really is. Like it has like an atmosphere to a lot of levels. They all kind of feel different. You start in the first stage where it's sort of like a city that's collapsing, and then you're sort of over water, and then depending on which branch and which path you go off of, you could be in space, you could be over a planet that's on fire, and like there's all these different options in it and stuff, which at the time was not common, or at least not in a game like this. And it's just such a fun game. I think everything you said though, Ian, with Mario Kart 64 though is true. Like really, it is very defining. Like that matters. That my feelings of Mario Kart 64 compared to the original are now well documented on the episode or on the show. But it's not to say anything bad about the game. I just prefer the previous version. But it's still, you're right. Everything you said is correct. But I can't not give it to Star Fox myself. So I think that's where we're gonna go with the 97 best 64 title with 64 in the title.
Oh,
So
the first
Yeah.
Backy.
It's a good
the
one.
first Backy for
1997.
1997. Yay! Crowd
Star
noise
Fox
inserted here in
64.
in the podcast edit.
Golf
No,
clap.
I like
Just
that
put
one.
in a
I like
golf
that
clap.
choice.
Golf clap. Okay.
I like Star Fox 64. I would like, even though I name drop Bomberman because of nostalgia, like I would say it is
Sure.
probably the best game until you come to Mario Kart 64 in the list for me personally. But Star Fox 64 is a great game as well, so it's a good choice.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Best Franchise Starter, and this is going across multiple platforms. We have Carmageddon, Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, Age of Empires, and Fallout. I'm going to go first here because I will say right now, this is a 4-horse race instead of a 5.
Yeah.
Because with Remember 64, with my other podcast, I played Carmageddon a few months ago, and it is 100% not the best of anything. So it does not deserve to be on this list.
Nice.
Or does it deserve to be in serious consideration?
Yeah, it's really weird. So it feels like they want you to think of it as a race, but it's not really. And I would rather.
It's hard. Yeah, they call them races and everything, and I think they do want you to. But like, I don't know that it knows what the focus needs to be, because it does want you to have it as a race. There's laps, there's times, there's checkpoints, but you can also win, like we said, by killing all the zombies in the level, which I don't understand how you could possibly, one, have enough time to find them, and two, find 160 in any way whatsoever.
Is that what it is? All of them? You clear them all out?
If you clear them all out, you will win that particular race. But it'll take forever, and you don't have enough time.
No.
Or you can destroy the other vehicles.
Because there's a timing mechanic going on here. The only thing you're trying to beat is the clock.
It really is. Really, that is what it is. It has so little going for it. It's unfortunate, but for me, this would be personally probably Grand Theft Auto, but I think that's mostly because I spent the most time out of all of these games with it. Not because it was like huge for me, not because it was like my favorite out of all these or anything necessarily, but probably that. I didn't get to play much Gran Turismo. I think I played a lot of 2, which I think was common for a lot of people. And Fallout, I didn't play until much later. And Age of Empires, I think it was like a 2 and 3, sort of where my experience was. But yeah, mine would be the first GTA. That's who gets my vote. Nice. Mr. Michael, what about you?
Well, I don't want to make it a short category, but I'm also going to go with Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
I know it kind of makes Ian's vote not matter as much, but
okay, next.
Just as in the first annual Backies, I'm going to try and sway one of you.
Yeah, you can try to sway.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly. Yeah,
you should lay out the rules, which is, we vote on the categories and majority wins, but you can sway other people to change their votes. So it's not final until everyone goes. So good point, Ian. I was really thinking Dave was going to lean somewhere else. That's why I kind of had that.
Interesting.
For me, it's Grand Theft Auto, and it's easy. So
all right, Ian, sway us.
Although there's a lesser known title called Oddworld Abe's Odyssey that I think is also a pretty decent franchise starter. I'm going to stick with the nominees and go GTA is a great. I think it's a great franchise, and I really like the second one, the way it was different from the 3D versions, like when you're doing the bird's eye view. I actually enjoyed that version, but like it doesn't really represent the franchise that it is today that everyone loved from like 3 onwards. No. So I'm going to steer away from GTA. I'm going to go with Gran Turismo because it pretty much held its like stuff from the first one all the way through, and it's probably, like, I know I just talked about Mario Kart 64. It's probably the most like accurate racing game you can play. Like it's
always been known for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the whole series is meant to be that. Yeah,
I realize it probably won't sway away from GTA. It's a great franchise, but when I think about the franchise, like I think Gran Turismo was a great franchise starter, whereas GTA had to pick up a little bit of steam as it went.
That's fair. I mean, I think that GTA 3 is probably one of the most, not even genre defining, but like video game defining
Yes.
games
it's
ever.
one of those milestones in video game
Yeah,
history.
it changed everything, and I love that game. It's
And in a lot of ways, 1 and 2 are the blueprint for that. It's just like, how
Yes.
do you take it from here to there?
Exactly. That jump that they made, they really
No,
took
They
advantage
made the
of
Mario
technology.
jump. They made the Mario jump.
They made the-
I will say my vote is maybe cheating, but my vote is 100% not for the game Grand Theft Auto 1, but the franchise.
Okay.
Like I think some of these games are better than the first Grand Theft Auto, like Age of Empires, and for example.
But I agree
better
with Dave.
than Grand
Age
Theft
of Empires
Auto.
2 is where it really.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I played. Yeah.
But I'm voting for the best franchise starter, so I'm kind of taking in all of what I know now about the franchise into account. I can't help but do that. So for me, it has to be Grand Theft Auto.
That's fair. That's a good point. I never actually even thought of it that way, because if you really take in the sort of like long.
Do you remember that
longevity-
game? Like Grand Theft Auto 2 was much better. Like me and my friends played 1 and 2, and we almost never played 1. I mean, we
always played 1.
But I
That's
always
the weird
played
thing. We
two.
always
Two
played
was
1.
infinitely better,
Yeah.
but then
2 was
like,
infinitely better.
I kind of like going back to that bird's eye view. Like I said, it's like a different
cool.
form of
It's
game,
cool.
you know?
Yeah, no, that's a cool option for sure. All right, so the second Backy from 1997 is headed to Grand Theft Auto. Yay!
Woohoo,
Insert
we
clap
like
again.
crime.
Woot woot! All right, so perfect follow-up. Ian, you had this fantastic idea just a couple days ago before we hit record of a new category that we're going to add here. It may be something that comes up in future Backies, but for 97, like you said, this just seems to be like such a crazy, I don't know if it's coincidence or trend or whatever, but all these games that have 2 in the title or are a sequel. So this is the best follow-up to the original title. So the second one in the series. So we have a long category here, but there's a lot of really good choices. All right, let's go with Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, Crash Bandicoot 2, Tomb Raider 2, Need for Speed 2, Quake 2, Riven, the sequel to Myst, so no number there, so maybe that's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Time Crisis 2, Worms 2, or Heroes of Might and Magic 2. All right, go for it, Mike.
Because you guys, it's my turn to start off, and I think I have a unique pick on this
Mike,
one.
you can say and pick whatever you want. I'm just gonna like clarify in my mind, anyways, that we were talking about original franchise starters. This is like the best sequel to an original title, so it would matter that this is the better 2 for me, anyways.
The improvement over the original, the better, sure.
Okay, so for me, the clear winner is Heroes of Might and Magic 2.
Oh,
wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, good choice.
Like, oh man, I loved this game so much. I loved Heroes of Might and Magic. Just thinking about it brings me back to a time where I would play this game at my friend Matt's house on his parents' computer, and I didn't even own it, but every time I went over, we were obsessed with it, and it was such a cool game. It was so different, so unlike anything else I'd ever played before. It was like this, I don't know, like real-time strategy-esque game, but you had this hero that would get artifacts, and you had a base that you would defend, and yeah, it was such a cool game. It just captured my imagination, and I did go back and play the first one, and there was a lot of improvements with the second one. And I followed the series a little bit, but nothing will hold up like the second one did for me. Just that time in my life, 97, discovered it and played it a lot and loved it. So for me, it has to be, we bring a lot of bias into these sort of
awards.
That's really what
obviously.
It is. So that's my bias but I also think it deserves it, to be honest, even though I'm biased.
Sure. Ian, I'm gonna leave you for last because
that's a good idea.
You're gonna close. That's a good idea. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. This is a good idea. I'm gonna kind of talk through mine too, because this is tough because the Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces game, I played the first one more than I played the second, but I do know, and
same here.
And similarly, I did go over to a friend's place and play these games, and that's how I experienced them. And I do remember really enjoying both. I even repurchased the original one on Switch. It was, re-release or something like that a few years ago. It's great. It's still really fun. It feels great. I think that's from 95 or 96. But as far as this list goes, I'm going to go with Tomb Raider 2 on mine, because That was, again, I never had a PlayStation, but it was one of those games that I played at other people's places and we rented sometimes because it was just I don't have a lot of experience with the original, but I have a lot of experience with 2, and I do remember really enjoying the sort of world that Tomb Raider had at the time. But if I look down this list, I don't know that a lot of these were like front and center for me in these, 97, 98 and stuff. I had a lot of other ones that we're going to be continuing to talk about, but if I really had to pick one, I would go with Tomb Raider 2, but I am more than open to being swayed. So Ian,
Nice.
it's your turn, sir.
Good one. Now, I look at this list and there's 9 that we're talking about here, and
it's a lot,
honestly, all of them are great follow-ups to the original. All of them, I think I've played majority of them, and I'll say that most of them are improvements on the original.
Yep.
So it's tough call. Tomb Raider 2 is a good choice. I think Need for Speed would be a good choice. Quake is also a great sequel to Quake.
Yes.
Quake 2. So, and then, for me, it's like it always leads to Unreal Tournament, and I think like I love Power's Choice because Heroes of Might and Magic 2, I played a lot of it, and for me, it's like the pinnacle was Heroes of Might and Magic 3. But I would choose still Heroes of Might and Magic 2 because it's still fundamentally the same game. It does a lot of the great things that Heroes of Might and Magic 3 does. You mentioned how it's like you have a core base, you build out your hero, you add armies of creatures, and depending on your class, your type of castle, you have different creatures at your disposal. It's a great adventure game. You gather resources, you go to battle against other players. It was a great multiplayer game on a LAN or whatever, or even locally
dial-up
each
internet
other on PC. So Heroes of Might and Magic is one of the most innovative on this list for me. So, Heroes of Might and Magic 2.
Ooh, I was gonna say,
if there's no 2 votes, then we'll do a second.
Right, that's just setting some of the ground rules for the Backies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was agreement. We did get 2 votes. So
we can narrow it down,
Backie.
go to the next step and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, my love goes deep for the Heroes of Might and Magic.
There,
franchise,
I thought so. I thought you guys both had a
Mhm.
decent amount of experience with them. I do not, but that's because I think I spent all my time between 95 and like 99 in Warcraft. I think that's why. In Warcraft
I
2.
think
So
I
actually-
I actually think that Heroes of Might and Magic is a type of game where you played it on PC. A lot of those don't translate well into modern standards, but you can play this one because it's turn-based. You can actually play like a modern
turn-based
version of
helps
this
for sure,
and it
for
would
sure.
work really well, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we've had enough best categories so far, guys. I think it's time to turn to the worst for a little bit. Mike, I'm gonna let you introduce this because you put this like 1.5 category together here. So it starts with the worst game based on a movie.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun category because anyone that's grew up in the 90s or the 80s or listening to this podcast, probably, as people listening to the podcast probably did, knows that back in the day we used to get tons of these games based on movie franchises, movie IP, and they're more often than not terrible. Usually terrible. Usually it's just trying to squeeze that extra dollar out of the movie, out of the fans or whatever, right? And this was like something that happened in the 90s so much. So if you look at this category, like I don't think it happens as much anymore. It happened a lot in the 2000s too, but it also happened a lot in the 90s.
I think they're more careful with it now almost. They maybe like they learn their lesson a little bit, or they're not willing to put the money forward. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you might be based on the same franchise. So there's a Spider-Man games, but it's not necessarily based on the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
or there's like a Blade Runner game that's not based on the movie. But back in 1997, we got, an Independence Day game. So these are the nominees. Independence Day, Blade Runner, Anastasia, Adventures with Puka and Bartok. Okay, that could be a that could be a nomination.
So throw that in the
for
worst
another-
titles.
Yeah, that should be in the worst titles. So yeah.
Clueless, the video game. Disney's Hercules, the video game. Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. Like they would just make
I need to
anything.
see this game. I need to see what you have to do. Like,
and then this is the best part of the category. This is a subcategory to the category, which is it's the best version of the Lost World Jurassic Park video game, because there were 5 Jurassic Park Lost World
I remember
video
that.
games
And there were
came out
some
in
good ones in there.
1997. There was one for the arcade, which was like a house-lit arcade shooter.
The
There was a
shooter thing,
handheld
yeah.
version. There was a console version, a Sega version, and there was a real-time strategy version called Chaos Island: The Lost World. So there were 5 Jurassic Park: The Lost World video games that were all different that came out in 1997 alone.
Wow.
So yeah, so we can first vote for the worst game if you guys, if you guys have any thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I played any of these games. I'm gonna be honest. Like
Mhm.
maybe Hercules, because it was like at that time where it's like, let's play the Disney game or something. But I don't know if I played any of these, but I looked most of these up and like just did a brief like scrub through on YouTube of doing playthroughs.
Mhm.
And the Clueless one, like the fact that it's called Clueless CD-ROM, like that's
Yeah.
actually what it's called. It's basically just like, here's a menu of things you can click on the computer, and you can click on a closet and you can grab a shirt, and you can go to the store and you can grab an item. And it has like this really bad music and voiceover.
Welcome to my world. This map will take you anywhere you want to go in this total user-friendly CD-ROM. It's way point and clicky. First stop, makeovers. They totally give me a sense of control in a world filled with chaotic hair and makeup misfires.
Like Clueless is not necessarily a kid's movie, I would say, but it is definitely.
But Clueless is also not a movie that you would think, oh, this will make a good video game.
Exactly.
Like I get Star Wars or whatever, but like, or Independence Day even, I kind of get. You could fight aliens, but like
yes.
Clueless, you know what I mean?
So I'm going with Clueless just based on the 10 minutes, 5 minutes of research I did for this category, and the fact that I don't know that I played any of these games other than maybe 1 or 2 of the Lost World games. So my vote goes to Clueless.
Okay, good one. And then do you have a vote for the best version of the Lost World?
Well, okay, so you were showing me before this Chaos Island one, which is sort of a strategy version. I have not played that game, and I didn't recognize it at all, but I do remember playing the arcade game and definitely the Sega game. Those are the 2 that for sure I played. I'm going to say best is the arcade game, because it's super fun to play those games, to sit down with someone.
Yeah, those are good games.
And have those light guns, and you're in this whole, you're not just standing there, you're in this whole contraption that's around you. And
it's one of the ones that like when it asks you to continue and feed more money into it, you're like actually considering it because
you want to. Those are the games that always had like the lineup, like they had people waiting for them because they look cool and everything. And dude, it's dinosaurs. Like, let's go for it. So my vote goes to
dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs. Lost World Jurassic Park.
All right,
so that's
Ian, let's hear your picks for the worst movie game and then the best Lost World game.
Well, aside from Jurassic Park: The Lost World, which I actually have played, I haven't played the other one, so I have to side with Dave on the Clueless one because you've done your research, you've done your homework. I haven't played any of them, and I can't imagine a Clueless game would be any good because even a movie that lends itself to more so to a video game like
Independence Day, like Mike said,
2, Lost in New York. I think it came out like 92.
Yes,
I
played
that game.
Yes.
Being super hard though. Like I remember being like, yeah, it translates well to a video game, but why does it have to be so hard? This one, Clueless, I'm clueless to how you make it into a video game. So
it's
I'm clueless.
I mean, honestly, the word game and video game is a stretch. So there's that.
Okay.
As far as Jurassic Park goes, it actually goes a little deeper because so I'm on record for raving about the original Jurassic Park game for Sega Genesis. However, even though I had the Lost World, it's not my favorite of the sequels. So I had the Lost World for Sega Genesis. I also had the Lost World for Super Nintendo. And the weirdest thing about that is, like you said, Power, earlier, there's like 5 different versions of the Lost World. Like they really blew up into these video game titles, right? But when you normally have like multiple consoles, like in today's standards, PS5 and Xbox, or back then it was Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo, you had games that were ported nicely over that were the same game. In this case,
differences would be maybe like the music because the chips were different and stuff like that. That would be the difference, and that's it. Yeah,
and like you'd have a similar type game, but in this case, like we have the arcade one, which is very like experience focus, like you're sitting there. It's like almost VR like with your your guns and everything shooting at them. But for me, it's the Super Nintendo one because I had that one, and the weirdest thing about it was completely different from the sequel on Genesis. It was completely different from the arcade. It was like your bird's eye view, similar to something like GTA, like we mentioned, and you ran around in the jungle on like the island, and when you went into a building, it turned into like a Doom style shooter, and that's when it became like that's when it became like that's my game. So the Jurassic Park Lost World one for me is Super Nintendo.
That's awesome that they did that. Like that's how did they do that is my question. Like how do they do that? That's awesome.
Every time you went inside on the map, so you'd be like bird's eye view shooting dinosaurs, like bird's eye view, and then you'd go into a building and you'd be first person shooter. It was crazy.
Wild.
You'd have raptors jumping at you with the first person, and you'd have to gun them down.
That's sick.
That's awesome.
That's so good.
All right,
Mike.
so
creator of the category. What do we got?
Yeah, if this was best, it would be Blade Runner because I actually heard, I never played it, but I've seen the reviews. I know it's like got remastered. That Blade Runner, a point and click adventure game from 1997, was actually good. It actually has
point and click adventures kicked ass in the 90s. They're amazing. They're amazing.
It's 87% on Metacritic. It's like for 1997. That's pretty good for a movie tie-in game. So it has to be Clueless, just because how the hell is that even a game? Like that makes no sense. So Clueless, congratulations, you won somehow.
I guess
Becky?
you won? Question mark?
I guess congratulations, but you won being the worst game. I don't know. It's like an oxymoron, but whatever. But I know that we're kind of split on the Lost World, so we might have to have another round. But I'm gonna try to sway voting. But I'm gonna try to sway you guys on my pick, which is Chaos Island: The Lost World, which was a real-time strategy video game based on Jurassic Park. I loved that game, which was all about having your little party, and then having a base real-time strategy and collecting eggs, and then hatching them, and then you don't know what dinosaur you're gonna get, and then you kind of hatch it, and the fun was like incubating your egg and hatching it. Then all of a sudden, you have raptors joining your party, so you have triceratops joining your party, and then you get to bring them with you and enter all the battles and stuff. So real-time strategy game with dinosaurs, with sort of
the game actually sounds pretty epic.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool, and you your party kind of grew bigger with more dinosaurs, and getting the raptors and T-Rex was kind of the final ones you got. And I really did like that game for PC, so that's my vote. So I think we'd have to have one more round of voting for the Lost World, but I think Clueless gets the first
worst one. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have Clueless for worst game based on a movie, and the sort of subcategory of best version of Lost World Jurassic Park. Can narrow it down to Chaos Island, which is the real-time strategy, the console version, which would be the SNES version, or the arcade version.
No, it's Chaos Island, which is the PC version. It's the arcade one, which you voted for, Dave, and it's the SNES one.
SNES because it's different from Genesis.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's your if you have a second pick, or if you want to throw your support behind?
If I have a second pick, at the time, I think if I played it, if I put myself if I sat down and played one of these at the time, because I was so into certain games at the time, and because I was probably moved on from Super Nintendo and Sega at this time, would probably be the RTS version.
Okay.
So I think that's why I would do that.
Okay.
I definitely played the Sega version of this for sure. But if I were to put myself down and say like, hey, I want to play a game like Warcraft 2, but I don't want to play Warcraft 2, and hey, it's Jurassic Park. If I knew this existed, that would probably be the one I would be interested in. So
okay. So Ian, do you have a second? Your second in this one? What would it be?
Yeah, second is it's funny because like definitely my pick stands as Super Nintendo. For me
I think all three of ours actually stand as like our first.
Yeah. For me personally, because of the fact that like, for me, like, I know it's later in the cycle of SNES, but I was a Genesis kid playing Sega Genesis games. I had one Super Nintendo game, and it was this game.
Wow.
And I would take it over my Nana's. My Nana was cool. She had Super Nintendo, so that's where I'd play like all the other games, like Mario Kart and everything else. So I got one later in life, but I mean, it was like, this was the game that I was excited to bring over and play. And it actually ended up being a fun game to play. My second choice would have to be the arcade style, because it's so immersive, and any Jurassic Park game that comes on that format of arcade game is like instantly one of the best Like,
All right.
experiences for
So,
me in
and
that
I'm gonna
case.
throw my support behind the SNES one. So that leaves us in a tie again. So we need to boil. We need to
No way.
we need to come up with a winner. So
Okay.
every one of these games has one first place vote and one second place vote. Right.
Yeah.
So, how do we decide?
Do we do that, or do we just ask people to choose for us? Because I don't know if we're gonna be able
let's
to
let
whittle them
people
down.
let's let people write in.
Yeah.
For
Let the
this
people
one.
decide which one's
Yeah,
the best.
we're gonna
Yes.
take this. We're gonna take this
Okay.
to the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, here. How about this? Do the poll and put all 5 choices on there, because
Yes,
if they
that's
end
what
up choosing
yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
ones that we didn't talk about, then that gets the backy.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing with the handheld one. It's on Game Boy, and I know that like I played so much Game Boy that I would not be surprised that if I played this, which I know I didn't. If I did, it could be something I'm interested in too. Like that's the thing. I talk about the RTS version, but also it's on Game Boy, and I freaking love my Game Boy all the time. I still do. So
It's a subcategory anyways, so we can let the people decide.
But
on
it's
the
a good one,
subcategory.
Mike. Mike, you've
Yeah.
stumped us. Like you've officially stumped us, which is saying something. So that's pretty
The first
sweet.
tie, the first tie in the Backies.
Yeah, we've
The
never
first
had a
non-award
stalemate-
at the Backies.
We've never had a stalemate in the backies before.
Yeah,
No,
the
no award.
stalemate.
The no prize. The no prize goes
All right,
to
Lost World Jurassic Park is the no prize. I'm just
Yeah.
going to bold it and make sure that I come back to that. And okay. So no claps, no awards there, but lots of fun discussion, and we're going to have everybody else choose for us. Okay, back to the best categories. Best game that would later become a blockbuster movie or show. We have Fantastic Four on the Nintendo 64, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Beast Wars, Transformers, or Rampage World Tour.
I'll go first with this one,
Sure.
if I may. I think there's a clear and obvious winner. I think the reasons why, and I'll lay it out for you guys and let you think about it before you make your vote. Maybe I can sway you guys, but Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a great game. It is an amazing game. And the Castlevania series on Netflix is an amazing series that not a lot of people have seen.
So you've told us, yeah.
So I'm taking this opportunity to plug it as well. And it's by Warren Ellis, comic book writer. It's like anime style. It is really, really good. And it's a really good game. So I think if I combine those two things, like everything else, Fantastic Four, terrible game. Beast Wars, yeah, that's coming as a movie, but those Transformers movies kind of stink. And then
they
Rampage, great game, but the movie sucked. So this is why I'm throwing my support to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because I think if I say best game that would later become a blockbuster movie and show, yeah, maybe it just should focus on the game, but I can't help but take into account how good that Castlevania suseries was.
Right. No, that's fair. I mean, so I think the original Fantastic Four movies, they're just okay. I haven't watched them in a long time. I did not see the most recent one.
I like them. I actually did like them back in the day.
Yeah,
so.
I don't fully remember them, but like, so for me, if I were to take into account, because I haven't seen the Castlevania show, but we love the shit out of the Beast Wars TV show. We've talked about that in the past. So that was fun and very nostalgic. I played the shit out of Rampage World Tour with friends, which I've talked about before. Game. Yeah, like Rampage was the game that I sat down on a weekend and played with 3 other people, and we played it on Friday night until we got to like level 70 or something like that. And then we went and finished it the next morning and played all 110 levels or whatever it was. But if it's the game itself, it's also Castlevania for me, because not only is it a good game, but it helped define a genre at this point. Like the reason why they call them Metroidvania games is because Castlevania Symphony of the Night started that and had that in it. Like the, mix between Metroid and Castlevania, that this is the game that attributed to that title. And it's an awesome game. It's one of the few Castlevania games that I've played. And I should play more, but I haven't. And it's excellent. It's super fun. And that's my vote, without taking into account what the actual TV show / movie actually is. So Castlevania is my vote. It's also Mike's vote. Ian, what do you think? Let's talk it through.
No, it's I'm pleased because I think that I actually expected you to say Rampage, which, like you mentioned, it's a good choice. But
tempted.
Castlevania, Yeah, Castlevania, like you said, like I love the Metroid franchise. I love the Castlevania franchise. This one kind of pushed it into a new direction and kind of made it like a standard in ways. So, when you couple that with the fact that even though I haven't finished watching Castlevania, what I have seen, I've been impressed with on Netflix. So it's a very good animated series, and like it's hard to adapt a video game project. I don't think you're necessarily expecting it to match like the type of experience you have with the game, but if it's a good story and it's well animated, like I don't see a problem in that. It just may not like and that's another interesting discussion for video game movies in general, because like
Yeah, right?
do you want to be reminded of the video game experience, or do you just want to see a very well made, like well told story and set in the same world? Because
Right.
that's ultimately what they haven't really been able to do in that genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've done it on Netflix as a series, because I've heard good things. Like like I said, I haven't watched it all, but what I have seen has been pretty captivating. So
Nice. Well, there you go. So we got
yeah, so unanimous. So we went from a
Unanimous.
no prize stalemate to a unanimous vote. I'm actually relieved I don't have to sway anybody at this point.
No, I was honestly, I was very tempted to go with Rampage for multiple reasons. It's a game I played. I don't know if it was World Tour, the first one. I also played in arcade. Like it's something that was huge for me, and I hope. I mean, there are other games out there now that are similar to that. Like there's one that I played this year that was Terror of the Hemosaurus or Hemosaurus. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. And it's essentially it's essentially Rampage. It is Rampage with a dark sense of humor, because there's really fun, like quote unquote story to it and everything. Like you have 4 different characters. You could play co-op. Like it's really fun. It doesn't have like the whole 100 level type thing, but you could do like an endless mode and everything too. But it's it's a fun genre to play with friends. I will add too that the Fantastic Four N64 game, one of the reasons why I put it on here is almost as a joke, is because an IGN review from way back in the day in 1997 is titled, oh no, oh God, the pain. So
wow.
it's not gonna get chosen.
I noticed you were saying that it wasn't the best game on social media, and I, from what I can tell, it doesn't seem very good. It's weird that of all the N64 games I've played, I've never played Fantastic Four. That is a strange
neither have I.
thing
I am
for me
scared
that
now
it
that
existed
I
and that I haven't been able to play it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's any indication, they haven't been able to adapt it into a movie yet,
into anything
so,
necessarily. Yeah.
Maybe a video game is not a good choice either.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, so Castlevania Symphony of the Night, unanimous decision.
Good choice.
For the best game that would later become a blockbuster movie or show. All right, next up. The funniest or most ridiculous game title. This one's always pretty fun.
Is this where we're all bringing titles to the table and we haven't told each other yet? Or?
Well, I wrote them down in the document, and I want to have the one that I chose as the one.
Okay.
But
Let's
if
hear
you
them.
guys have something that's not on the list, just bring it, because last year we had the wonderful Hot Dog Storm.
No, but I want to hear which titles you wanted to add in, and then I'll read the rest of the nominees. And if you already covered one, then I'll just leave it at that. But
I have one. I have one that I want
for
to add, which is hilarious, because in researching 96 games, I looked up, what's the worst game of 1996?
That's a good way to do it.
Unanimously, the worst game of 1996 is a game that also has a terrible name, and that's a game called Bubsy 3D. Bubsy, Bubsy 3D. That's just such a horrible name. And,
Bubsy.
Okay, so mine is completely random.
Yep.
It is not a game I have ever heard of, because I believe it is only a Japanese soccer game. I don't know where this game came from. The way I picked it was when Ian asked, I was like, okay, I'm going to click the letter P and see which games come up and which titles are bad. And I'm just going to go with that. It's called Pleasure Goal.
Pleasure Goal. Oh, that's great.
No, please tell me that's on a cover somewhere. That's not just a Japanese translation.
It's written. I think it's a translation. Like it's more of a direct
so
translation, but it says futsal 5-on-5 soccer.
And the one that I thought for sure would get my vote here, and this is ridiculous, Hot Dog Storm. Look it up.
Okay, that wins. That is amazing.
Hot Dog Storm. If you look it up, it's even more funny because I was picturing like this post-apocalyptic things where like hot dogs are falling from the sky. It's one of those vertical shooters where you're flying a spaceship. But here's
Oh yeah.
But here's
Like
the
Raptor?
rub. Here's the rub. It's a serious space shooter. We have no idea why it's called Hot Dog Storm. It's never explained in the game. So it's just called Hot Dog Storm, and it's a serious space shooter.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what made this category.
That's what
Oh my
made it,
God.
because that was not on the list, which is exactly why you're saying that, Ian, is just
Yeah.
because it's effing hilarious. Like Hot Dog Storm is like this bullet hell sort of thing. It's just, oh, come on. Like, it's just ridiculous, right? Okay, so funniest or most ridiculous game title. I want to say it's Redneck Rampage. And part
Okay,
of the
read the
reason I wanna
categories
say
though.
that,
Read
yeah,
the
like, it's funny.
nominations first.
Yeah.
That we
So
have.
Redneck Rampage 1, just ONE.
So stupid.
Wow.
Zork the Grand Inquisitor, which I actually know what
I
that
saw
game
that
is.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's bad.
Don Pachi, which I have no idea what that is.
No, Dudon. Patchy.
Oh, Dudon.
So
Oh,
it sounds like you have 3. Do you want me to read some
and
3 other
yes,
ones that
let's
I
add.
found?
Let's add.
Wait,
to the
let's let
list here.
Dave finish his
Oh,
nominee.
the reason why I pick Redneck Rampage is because I just think it's hilarious alliteration, and also I played this game. I played the shareware version of like the first like 2 levels of this game, and I remember it. And now I look back at it, and I saw people like do YouTube videos of it. It's fucking terrible. Like, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just a bad game.
Redneck
But I just think that title is just so.
You wouldn't get
stupid
away
and
with
funny.
that title anymore.
So
Okay.
that's a terrible title and probably a terrible game. Also, I think Power, you make a valid point before with the Anastasia, whatever that title was. But
Yeah.
for me, I found 3 as well, and it's Meat Puppet, which has got to be in there.
What?
Yeah, Meat Puppet. Pajama Sam's Sock Works, which I have no idea what the fuck that is. Ready for Math with Pooh, which we know what that probably is, but at the same time, if you try and say to a child, hey, I got you for Christmas a game for your new console, and it's Ready for Math with Pooh, I don't think they would be too excited on Christmas morning.
They
for
might
that
say
one.
math is poo poo.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
oh
that.
yeah, Math Pooh, what'd you get me?
Yeah.
So
All right,
that's-
those are
that's
good.
mine.
Do you have one that you're gonna nominate, Ian? Because I have
Yeah,
some. That
I
I'm gonna
gotta
bring to
go
the
with
table.
Pajama Sam's Sockworks because
Okay.
what the hell are we in for with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 that I'm bringing to the table that you guys haven't mentioned.
All right.
So hope. I don't think I have any as good as Hot Dog Storm in the mix here.
I don't think
But
anyone ever will,
Yeah,
honestly.
there is a game called Balls of Steel that came out in 1997.
Oh, I think I know what that is.
Which I thought that's a great name, Balls of Steel. I wonder if they like knew what they were doing there, or if it was really just a game about pinball. Right? It's a pinball game.
Right.
So great name for a pinball game, Balls of
Yes.
Steel. And then this is kind of a cheat because this is a game that's from the sort of emulating, and I think it's from maybe the same people as the Leisure Suit
nice.
Larry kind of
Mm.
series.
Yep.
But there was a game called Gag the Impotent Mystery.
Oh, what? That's ridiculous.
Which came out in 1997.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
Fantastic
God.
Four.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
we got a Fantastic Four. Of
And then I would
category.
add another one, which is just stupid, which is there was a game that came out called Clay Fighter 63 1/3.
I
Yes.
saw that.
So I think they
yes.
were making fun of the 64.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's just a stupid thing to do, to name
But-
a game 63 1/3.
the difference
So I
with
don't
that
like
game,
the Naked Gun movies.
Naked Gun thing, yeah. The thing is with that game is that they had two games. They had 2 Clay Fighter games. One of them was 63 1/3, and another one was Clay Fighter 64.
Right.
They had made 2 of them. One of them, the 64,
Weird.
the one that was
Why?
64
I
was
didn't
the
realize they
sequel.
did that,
Like,
yeah.
what the
That's
hell?
true.
Yeah, what the hell?
They did it on purpose. It's amazing.
So maybe that one belongs as the 10th sequel choice.
yeah.
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 So
it
I
also
think
belongs
I don't
in
know.
the 64 category. It's like a transcends the category.
I don't know what to vote here. Like I don't know if I want to go with the Pajama Party one or the Balls of Steel. Because Balls
So-
of Steel, I think is actually a great name.
Balls
I
of
think it's a
Steel
great
is
title
actually a
for a
pretty
good
good name.
pinball
I played
title.
that game. I'm
It's
looking at
funny.
it right now. I played that
Yeah.
game. I played Balls of Steel. 100%. That was definitely a game I played. Gag the Impotent Mystery is
That is pretty ridiculous.
Like Gag
Next to Hot Dog Storm. Yeah.
Yeah. First person point and click inventory based adventure game, often considered the first Russian game in the quest genre. That's what it says. Whatever the
Okay,
hell
I'm going with that one, Power. Nice pull. That's ridiculous.
Okay. All right. I think we got to do it, right? Gag the Impotent Mystery.
Okay, this is even better. This just keeps going. There's a spin-off called The Adventure of Harry, The Evidence Under the Underwear.
What? It's almost like Harry is the Russian Leisure Suit Larry or something.
Yeah, I think this whole series should win for the rest of time. Between this and Hot Dog Storm, I think we're good, guys.
Oh god. Yeah, that's a hilarious backy to give, but yeah,
That's
Gag the Impotent
I love
Mystery.
it. Gag the Impotent Mystery.
What a title.
Mike, it's good. I'm putting that
title.
in there, and it is taking home the trophy this time. There it is.
Golf clap.
Oh, gentlemen, so good for the Backies. This is part one of the Backies, everybody, though. The 1997 Backies will continue. Next week, we'll have the rest of the awards to hand out, and we have a few more video game ones, and as I mentioned towards the top of the show, we also have a movie category added. Yes, the Backies get so big and jam-packed, it has to be split into 2 different episodes. You're welcome. Until that time, you guys can find us everywhere at Day Back In on social media. And of course, give us a listen, a rating, tell your friends on your podcast app of choice. And we'll see everybody next week as we continue to work our way through the awesome Backies categories for 1997.